All right, so we are live. Today is January 2nd, first business day for us for the new year. How exciting is that? Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so ready for 2019. Had a blast with all the holidays. I'm not going to lie. We had a great time and lots of the spoils, the food and all that good stuff. But the day after Christmas, I don't know what you guys are like. I really don't. But the day after Christmas, I took down the decorations. I didn't take down the tree. Took down the decorations before the family woke up. And Eric gets up and he's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? He goes, I know what you're doing. He said, but, I said, it's okay. We'll leave the tree up and, leave the lights outside. And you know what? He caved and he was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Get it over with so we can hit the pavement running for 2019 with no distractions. And that is exactly what we did. So we're all back to normal. We are all nice, neat, and organized, clutter-free in the brain, clutter-free in the house, clutter-free in the office, right? And we're ready to set the goals. It's classic. Everybody does it. So most people, what is the biggest New Year's resolution? The biggest goal always set on New Year's is what? You guys obviously know this. It's usually health and fitness. The gyms are packed like the beach on the 4th of July. We can't even move. And honestly, I'm so grateful that I have a home gym because I can't deal because everybody's there and they don't want to be there, but just only give it a couple weeks, 3 weeks, that all falls off and the regular gym goers are back by February 1st, right? Everybody's back. The normal ones are there on February 1st. The rest of them have done their thing, fallen off the wagon. Unfortunately, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but that is just real. Statistics show. But today is not about setting personal goals. Of course, we do set personal goals. I know that. Whether they're personal financial goals, relationship goals, community goals, spiritual goals, health and fitness goals, whatever they are, we all set those. I do too. Have a different set of goals on a separate goals list that are called personal goals. All right. And that, that could be family, that could be fun, that could be whatever. But today's focus is on business goals because I've seen this on so many different occasions where people have all the best intentions. My business entrepreneurs, they are ready to go. They're ready to kill it in the new year and we're going to do things different and we're going to, set all these great goals. And then a year goes by in the blink of an eye. I think we can all agree on that. And what happens is none of the goals are attained. There's a lot of overwhelm and a lot of frustration. So today I wanted to share 3 tricks with you that will help you crush it in 2019 and stay on track and put you on the right track. So first and foremost, have you set your business goals for 2019? Now, a lot of times these take some serious thought, right? Because there's always some sort of financial goal involved in owning a business, being an entrepreneur, right? We always want to grow the business. Then there might be employee or team goals, whether you're going to increase the team or give the team additional responsibilities or hire a different leader or something along that nature. So maybe that is a goal. Maybe there's goals with regard to adding a new product or service, or maybe there's a goal with increasing customer service, okay? So there's all different areas of goals that you can set for your business. But here are the 3 traps that we're going to avoid. I'm going to give you 3 tips to make these goals actually happen. So the first trap I notice with business owners especially, and please feel free to use these in your personal world, on your personal goals, all right? Because they work the same way. But in business, this is where we're focusing today. The first thing that you need to do is, well, this isn't my first trick yet, but the first thing you have to do is you have to set some goals, okay? So my suggestion is always 10 goals. Come up with 10 goals within the business that you're looking to achieve this year. Any aspect of the business, anything at all, whether it's, you know, a cash flow issue, or if it's to implement a new accounting system, or if it's to hire specific people, whatever those goals are, list them out, top 10. But the first tip when you are doing your goals list is to quantify the goal. And what I mean by that is this. You cannot just come out of the gates and say, I'm going to increase my gross revenue this year. Because that is a great goal, but there's no dollar amount on it. There's no quantification to that goal. So basically what I'm talking about is if you want to increase revenue, put a number on it, put a percentage on it. I want my gross sales to be 2 million by the end of the year. I want to increase sales by 25% over last year. Okay, quantify the goal. Because if you don't quantify it, there's nothing to reach for and attain. You're just trying to get more sales. But what is that? How do you know? And are you reaching for the brass ring? Because you're kind of not. You're just throwing it out there that you want to increase sales, but problems arise, red tape arises with that when we get to number 3 of my strategic tips here. So number 1 is to quantify those goals. Think about it. When you want to lose weight, you just say, I want to lose weight, or do you put poundage on it? I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds, okay? Because when you have a number, a concrete number in front of you, or something specific in front of you, not general, you zero in and you focus harder than just the norm, the general norm, because then that's average, and we're not average here. Okay, we're not looking to be average here. So that's number 1, is to quantify the goal itself. The second one is to set deadlines. It doesn't need to be one deadline, but there has to be deadlines in place based on what goals you're setting to achieve. So if 1 year from now, your goal is to gross 2.5 million, okay, there's a deadline, December 31st, 2019, I'm getting that confused. 2019, we are going to have grossed $2 million, or whatever that is. We will have hired 5 customer service employees. We will have implemented a brand new accounting system. We will have streamlined our sales process. Whatever the goal is, set the deadline for that particular goal. And you want to know, here's the thing, people get crazy. They're like, oh, I don't know, like, what if I don't hit the deadline and that's like not a good deadline? I don't know if that's too long or too short or whatever that is. My answer is always, it doesn't matter. Set it, set the deadline. There is no bad goal. There's only a bad deadline. So if you don't hit the deadline, it's irrelevant, because then the deadline was wrong. We just have to move the deadline out a little bit more. As long as we're still seeking to achieve a goal that was quantified, the deadline is there, because in your mind, what that deadline does is it streamlines your focus to achieving the goal set, but it doesn't necessarily, I mean, you might achieve that sooner than the deadline. And then what? You're like, oh, it's not a bad thing. Just the deadline was off a little bit, but set the deadline. Give yourself a cutoff of when this thing has to happen. All right, so that's number 2. So the first one is quantify the goal. The second one is set the deadline. Now the third and final one is a good one. And this is where all the action happens. And this is called reverse engineering the goals to meet the deadline, all right? Let's talk about this quickly. So basically we quantify the goal. We want to gross, let's stay with that. We want to gross 2 million by December 31st, there's our deadline, 2019. I got it right this time. So we quantified the goal, we set the deadline. Now what we have to realize is this, we're going to hit a deadline. How are we going to hit the deadline? How are we going to gross $2 million by next year, especially if we're only grossing $500,000 this year. That's a huge number, okay? We have to reverse engineer that. So if one of our goals is to increase revenue, how are we going to do it? Are we going to introduce a new product or service to our culture that we serve? Or are we going to, increase customer service and charge for additional customer service? How are we going to reach that goal? How do we say, okay, we're at $500,000 gross this year. The goal is set for $2 million by December 31st with the deadline. How are we going to achieve it? We have to reverse engineer it step by step. And once you reverse engineer it, so if we say that we're going to issue a new product, or we say that we're going to increase prices, or we're going to increase volume and go after new customers, or we're going to segregate the market and create a niche and go after that, right? However we're going to do it, then we take that piece and we reverse engineer that, and we break that down even further. So if it's a new product or a new service, what is it? How much is it going to cost? Right? We have to cost that out. If it's a service, who's going to provide it? Do we need to hire additional team members to satisfy that service, right? If it's CFO outsourcing or controller services, do you have enough people in a house? You know what I mean? That would be what we would be looking at. Do I have enough team members to service an increase in an influx in a specific clientele base? And are they specialists? Okay, so we need to reverse engineer this in order to climb the ladder to achieve the goal, the quantified goal that we're talking about by that specific deadline. So those 3 things, if you focus on those 3 tricks, there is no way you will not hit your goals. You may not hit them at 100%, right? But let me back up a step. Because here's another thing that I see in business. I see it in personal life too, but I'd rather stay here on business side. Is that people will say, well, if I only had an extra $250,000 in gross sales, I'd be good. I'd be comfortable. Everything would be good. I could pay my bills, whatever. And my answer to that is, that's not crazy cool goals. Like when I set goals, they are crazy cool, massive goals. And I know that there's conflicting suggestions on this and opinions on this. Is that like, if you set it too high and you don't reach it, oh, it's so discouraging. But let me just tell you something. If I set a goal to increasing my sales by 250,000 or by increasing my sales by 2 million or up to 2 million, right? From 500,000. If I fall short on the 2 million, do you think I'm still going to gross more than if I fell short on the goal of $250,000? Because I'd rather fall short on 15% of 2 million versus 15% of 250,000. You see where I'm going with that? Do not be afraid to set crazy cool goals for your business. Why wouldn't you? You're an entrepreneur. Enjoy the fruits of the labor, you guys. That's what we're in business for. But staying on track is huge because it's easy to derail. I know that. I'm in it every single day. There's social media we have to deal with. There's, the marketing component, the employee component. There's sidetracks and interruptions, and everything is always on top of us as the CEO, chief executive, or chief everything officer, not chief executive officer, right? There's everything on top of us. So our goals become overwhelming and we're like, oh man, whatever. Yeah, whatever with that goal. No. The answer is no, not this time. Because you're going to quantify them, you're going to set the deadline, and you're going to reverse engineer. And how do you stay on track? You write the goals out more than just today for the year. How does that work? You write it out once. Oh, I know. I see those other things too where I don't know. You put it on sticky notes, on the mirror, where you're going to see it every day, put it on your desk. No. When I write something down, I commit it to memory, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I know that I'm always what our slogan is, that we're new school, right? We're old school integrity with new school technology, new school approach. But when it comes to goal setting, I need pen to paper, right? I mean, like I take my pad, piece of paper, and I'll write them down. and I reorganize them and I rewrite them, because the more I write them, the more I commit them to memory, the more I obsess over them, the more I quantify, keep my deadlines, and I go after that goal. The risk of me falling off the wagon with my goals is that much less because I'm writing them down more frequently. I'm writing them every single day. I rewrite the goals and then I reverse engineer them, because I'm always thinking when I rewrite them, it causes me to rethink my process and to evaluate my process that I've done thus far. So, I mean, Eric's off camera, of course he's off camera, but I mean, a lot of times Eric and I, and he can vouch for me, is that he'll look at me and go, you know that goal, or whatever, you know how we're going to do this? Well, what about if we were to add this to that? You know, we start brainstorming, because every day we're thinking, we're seeing, we're writing out the goals. What does it take? How long does that take? It doesn't take any time at all, right? I mean, it's just a little bit of personal time in the morning while you're drinking your coffee. Get a journal out, get a piece of paper, and write the goals out. And then if you are fortunate enough to have team members to talk to every single day about those goals, do it. Talk to them, involve them. Express that with your team. Express the goals with your team. You want to know why? Because if you are not leading that team as a real team and they don't know the goals of the company and where you see this thing going and how they can be a part of that, you won't succeed. They want to be a part of that. They want to help achieve the goals. Because at the end of the day, yes, their paycheck is super important, but their self-fulfillment for what they're doing in their career is even more important. So allow them in with you. I mean, Eric and I talk about the goals, how where we are, did we hit anything yesterday? We have daily tasks that have to happen that we do, that team members do, that outsource people do, right? Marketing people. We just hired a marketing director and a social media director to start next week. We're so excited about that because we need help. I mean, like literally hours and hours of creating posts and things along that nature for a blog and everything else, where I should be helping clients and I should be helping you. Okay, so that's where my forte is going to be, but I have to lift something off of me. So now I add a team member who can see the vision. So you have to share that vision, right? So just to reiterate one more time what we talked about today, about 2019 being your best year ever. Make it a banner year by setting real business goals. And how do we do that? We quantify them, we set deadlines, and we reverse engineer. So I hope that helps you. I hope that serves you, because I know that that serves us. I mean, we've tried all different types of ways of, like, you know, setting financial goals for the business or setting business goals and things along that nature. And we got lost in the shuffle too back in the day. But these three things, they keep us on track. I guess you could add the fourth thing is share your vision with people around you that are going to help push you forward and drive you forward and hold you accountable for it, because that's how you will attain it. That's how you will make 2019 a year of years to remember in a positive way. Now listen, if you need assistance with setting financial goals or knowing what your financial goals, because a lot of times what people will say is, I kind of don't know. I know this, and this are not working in my business. And they need somebody from a professional standpoint to bounce that off of, especially people that understand finances, accounting, tax. They can understand that big picture. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Post in the comments below, direct message us, contact us. All of our information is in our profile. We are happy to help you, because that is why we're here. That is why we do what we do. I am going to go into this particular topic a little bit deeper in my podcast, my first podcast of 2019. We're working through that scheduling as we speak, because we also have some really great news, is that we're moving the studio. And the studio is being built. It's not ready yet. So we're kind of in like a little segue right now. So I'm hoping that the existing studio is going to be okay with echoes and acoustics and things like that, in order to record that first podcast of the year. All right, you guys, happy Wednesday, happy middle of the week. Happy New Year. And hey, tell me what your goals are. I'd be curious to know. I really love this stuff. I dork out about it. Tell me what your business goals are going to be that you will hit for 2019. Have a great day. Until next time.